big one on Saturday. A lot of optimism after 2 weeks of training camp in the books for our next team, and of course for our team as well, the Arizona Cardinals, as the Saints are coming off a 9-8 season, finishing second in the NFC South. And joining us now is their radio play-by-play voice, Mike Haas, joins us. Mike, Rock, Manuch, Jimmy B, thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure you got some pretty good weather right now in Irvine, right? I mean, it's going to be a lot nicer there than you're going to see here in a couple days.
Well, I'm not used to this. Like, every day is the same.
Yep.
Literally. We got here on July 22nd. It is now August 8th. Been sunny, cool in the mornings, warm in the afternoon, not a cloud.
Welcome to paradise.
Yeah, that's football. I'm getting ready to watch football right now.
Yeah.
It's 3:30 in the afternoon.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, it's fun. The time difference does make into it. Plus, the problem, though, is you're paying that sunshine tax. So when you're going to get, when you're getting that gas in California and you're paying for that Diet Coke or whatever, it's a lot more money than it is in other places because of that weather. So, oh, well.
Which is why I ride a bike around here.
There you go. The optimism going into this season for you and in this team. What I've been reading is that, there's not a lot of talk with the Saints right now. It's kind of like you guys are flying under the radar, at least from my point of view. And that maybe that's a good thing. But overall, what is the expectations going into this season?
Well, yeah, we're not even on the radar. Believe me, I look around, I read, and I look at the internet. I'm like, yeah, this team is not on the radar. And it's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they have not been to the playoffs since 2020. Defensively, they've done a lot of great things, but offensively have done a few good things. So they, for the first time in really since 2006 in the Drew Brees, Sean Payton era, kind of retooling the offense, Clint Kubiak, bunch of new offensive coaches. And so it's kind of it's Dennis Allen's third year and no playoffs for a fan base that's used to playoffs and a deep run. So it's kind of like a transition because of the offense, but there's also great expectations because Dennis Allen's been around as the defensive coordinator, now head coach. And, man, if you feel like in this division right now, this team, the Saints, need postseason. They need postseason worse than any team that I've been around.
Well, it seems as though trying to follow the legacy of one Sean Payton is very difficult. But Mike, when you look at this team overall, and to Rock's point, it's kind of like, who are they? You got the Cam Jordans, our local hometown hero out of Chandler High School. Spencer Rattler looking to make a move there. You got Peter Werner with a brand new extension. You got a lot going on there in New Orleans. But what's going to be the mojo? What's going to be the juice to get them back to the playoffs?
Well, it's boring, but it's simple, right? I mean, it's Derek Carr, and it's really the ability to protect Derek Carr. This Saints offense can't run the ball. They haven't run the ball in the last few years. So when you can't run the ball, they average 3.6 yards per rush, 31 in the NFL, and they didn't do a very good job of stopping the run, 4.4 yards, 22nd in the NFL. So I don't care about you can have the rest of the stats. Don't mean a lot when you can't run the ball or stop the run. And they have three new people on the offensive line, a rookie playing out of position, not his normal position. Trevor Penning moves to right tackle, not his normal position. Still not 100% sure who the left guard's going to be. So this team, it still has Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave. It still has talent, but, man, if you can't protect Derek Carr, it's going to be rough sledding. And this team has to be able to run the ball so they're not 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, where Carr's out on an island. So there's expectations, but it is, I feel like with some of these players, like a Carr, like Olave, like a Taysom Hill, it's now.
And with this defense, it looks like you guys are trying to make a play. I haven't seen it later this morning on safety. Justin Simmons maybe coming in as a free safety. And then there's Cam Jordan with this defense. Do they have the kind of defense or the makeup, Mike, of a defense that can move their way into the playoffs with defense alone if this offense struggles?
It can, and Cam is Cam, right? I mean, he speaks of that 2011 playoff game with the 49ers. I go, oh my gosh, that was such there's nobody on the 49ers still around from that game, and so he's just and I think last year being hurt Cam wants to come back. He is hungrier than anything for a ring. That's all he talks about. He, DeMario Davis. But the difference is, when you bring in a Chase Young, and he's back way ahead of schedule from his neck surgery. Willie Gay from Kansas City, back-to-back Super Bowls. And this defense, I mean, it'll have to carry this offense initially, mostly because the schedule is so brutal out of the gate with Dallas, Philadelphia, and Kansas City among your first 5 games, and 2 of those on the road. So I do feel like this defense will have to continue what it's been doing. And they only allowed 18.9 points a game last year, top 10. So they're going to have to do that and keep this offense in the game. I think this offense will take some time because of the new offensive line and the new system to get its feet under them.
Mike Haas is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Mike, let me follow up then on what you were discussing on the offense, and you referenced Taysom Hill. Is he still the Swift's Army knife, or are they changing his role at all?
It's hard for me to say this, but they're asking more of him.
Wow.
I didn't think that was possible. I think you'll see him a lot. I don't think you'll see him as much in what we will call the predictable Taysom Hill role. 3rd and short, 2nd and short, quarterback, QB power right, QB sweep, QB draw. I mean, he's playing fullback. He's playing wide out in the slot. He's running deep outs, deep slants. He'll still throw the ball and he'll still run the ball, but I feel like he's a new toy for Clint Kubiak, right? He's like, I don't know what to do exactly with him. I just know he's going to be out there. And he's the kind of guy that never says no. He doesn't have a slide. He doesn't know how to slide. There's only head first. And so I think we're going to see a lot of him. I just don't know exactly in what role. I think more as a receiver and more as a runner than we might have as a quarterback.
And then there's our prodigal son, Spencer Rattler. There he is, Pinnacle High School. Been watching this young man since 7th grade grow up. How's he looking at camp, and what are his prospects as far as, number one, beating out one Jack Hayner as a backup quarterback?
Well, that's the battle, right? I mean, that's what we're going to see a lot of on Saturday in our first 3 games. Obviously, Kyler's not playing, and maybe we might see Carr for a series or 2. I mean, Spencer had his best. The timing of this call is perfect. He literally probably had his best day in practice today, which is day 13. They did a lot of end of game kind of simulations, drills, and he drove him down. He played with the 2s today, and Hayner was with the 3s. Dennis said that's just the way it fell out. And he threw a nice pass, touchdown to Kevin Austin, and then he got the 2-point conversion only because we had no kickers dressed today. But so it's been kind of a progression. I mean, he's a 5th-round rookie, and you hear, get the ball out. It's that timing. It's the speed of the NFL. It takes longer for quarterbacks to really acclimate themselves. But I feel like he's progressed. I thought he had a really good day yesterday. And he came back again today. He benefited. And, prayers for Jake Hayner, who had a piece of, cancer removed from his cheek earlier this week, that came back. But he just benefited from just literally getting extra reps. He just needs the reps. And so we'll know a lot more this Saturday because those 2 are going to see the bulk of the snaps. And then the Niners come in for our joint practices because the fact of the matter is, they've had Jameis Winston. They haven't really had a number 2 quarterback battle like this. Mm-hmm. And the fact of the matter is that guy, if history's right, is going to play. And Derek Carr got knocked out of 3 games last year. So this number 2 minutes. Play. It's a very important position. And Rattler, I would say it was Jake's job to lose. And now I feel like it's a bigger competition just because I feel like Rattler has improved. And he spoke to the media this week. Just a great kid. Talked about working with Mike Giovando there in Phoenix and in his off season. Nothing seems to rattle him. And it's really kind of shown in the last few practices.
Last but not least, how are you handling all the earthquakes you've been dealing with over there, big fella?
It's weird because I'm from Virginia. I've lived in Louisiana for 30 plus years. So I felt 2, right? And so I felt one the other night. It was like 9:15. And so I Googled it like immediately. And it was a 5.6 earthquake like 2 hours away. I was like, first off, that information shouldn't be so readily available.
Yeah.
And then as I look further into it, I go, it says Irvine, California has had 4 earthquakes last 24 hours, 7 in the last week, 16. I went, oh my gosh. You know, they happen so frequently. If you're moving around, you don't notice it. But if you're sitting still, you notice it. But I can see why people don't think much of them here because they've had 16 in the last 2 weeks. So
that's scary.
Yeah,
Either way, it's still
all
scary.
been very nerve-wracking.
Mike,
Yeah.
What type of reaction do you expect the black and gold to give Sean Payton when the Broncos come in October on that Thursday night?
You know, it's an October 17th.
Yep.
So the Saints will be coming back from, they would just play Tampa, week 7. If I knew the records, I could tell you, right? I mean, Sean's going to get initially, I mean, look what he did. I mean, you have to remember, not the Super Bowl. You have to remember 06. When he came in with Drew Brees, Drew was banged up. Nobody wanted the job. We were in Katrina mode. We couldn't even find a house. So what he did will always be appreciated and respected. Now, if we're 2-5 and they're 5-2, the applause is not going to last long because he left. He was still under contract. He left of his own volition. But, you know, for what he did, they'll never forget 06, 09, and he created the culture that we live in today, the culture that expects playoffs. We didn't expect playoffs for many, many years. So he created that culture, and then they'll never forget that.
Mike, I'll squeeze in one more. The Super Bowl or Superdome transformation. I've been fortunate to be there for a couple Super Bowls, and I love that place. What is it that they are remodeling or refreshing there?
So, as luck would have it, I'm also the media relations manager for the Superdome for the renovation. So that's been my other full-time job. But I mean, so it's a beautiful building that they had to modernize, update, and they really just kind of gutted it, right? I mean, it's a 1975 building, so you had to bring it into this new century, yet not mess with the iconic character that is its exterior, and they've done that. We have huge new atriums, faster in and out, wider concourses. So we have to have all of the bells and whistles that all these new stadiums have, but yet don't mess with the iconic character. So it's phenomenal. It's you know, you cannot believe they took a lot of dead space, ramps and stuff, and made it useful. So that's great. And so it's a much more open building than we've ever had. I can't say that we have any cotton candy burritos that I know about, but I'll have to get back and check. But you know, I cannot wait. What a great year. 2025 is going to be our 50th anniversary of its opening in 1975 Super Bowl. It's a phenomenal building, and you know, to get another 2-3 decades out of it, just unbelievable.
And it'll keep you in the rotation for the Super Bowl and national championships and everything else, right?
Oh, of course.
Yep.
Now, granted, it's not like it used to be.
Sure.
It's a battle, but yeah, you got this building and 26,000 walkable hotel rooms.
Yeah,
you're in the conversation.
Yeah,
good
you
stuff. Mike, thank you so much. Enjoy your time here in Phoenix this weekend, and thanks for making some time for us today.
All right, fellas, we'll see y'all. We're coming in tomorrow. We'll see you Saturday.
You got it. That's the play-by-play voice of the Saints, Mike Haas. You can follow him on Twitter at MikeHaasCom. That's COMM. Again, he wears a couple different hats. So, the Caesars Superdome. That's a huge transformation. So, I've been fortunate when I interned with the Colts, I got to go down there for a game, and then I was there for a Super Bowl. And that was a lot of fun.
I've covered it a couple of times for Super Bowls.
Yeah,
I
probably saw you there.
Probably did. I've always had a great time there. And ironically enough, you just referenced it's the Caesar Superdome. They have a walkway then to the arena, and it is the Smoothie King Arena.
Yep, that's where Smoothie King's based out of.
That's it. Yep, where the basketball team plays.
One more to go. We're out here at Twin Peaks. It's Rock and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota